Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at a word problem, defining a variable, writing an equation to find the solution to this word problem. This is a problem I'm taking from CPM's course 2, and this is section 7.1.4. Okay, so, and this is number 7-46. It says last month, a dwarf lemon tree grew half as much as a semi-dwarf lemon tree. A full-size lemon tree grew 3 times as much as the semi-dwarf lemon tree. Together, the three trees grew 27 inches. Write and solve an equation to determine how much each tree grew. Make sure you define your variable. So remember, we start off and we need to figure out what is our x. What is our variable? And then from that, we determine what the other components are in their expressions, right, in terms of x. So if I'm looking at, I've got three trees. So the dwarf lemon tree, it says grew half as much as the semi-dwarf lemon tree. So there's the two trees there. And then a full-size lemon tree, there's the third tree. So a dwarf, semi-dwarf, and full-size. The full-size lemon tree grew 3 times as much as the semi-dwarf lemon tree. So if I knew the semi-dwarf lemon tree, I could tell you what the dwarf was. And then if I knew this as well, semi-dwarf lemon tree, I could find the full size. So that's going to be my x is my semi-dwarf. And we know they're all lemon, so I'm just going to write semi-dwarf for my table here. That's going to be my x. Then there's the dwarf. So there's semi-dwarf, and then there's dwarf. The dwarf lemon tree, it says the dwarf lemon tree grew half as much as the semi-dwarf lemon tree. So half as much. So that would be 1/2 of x. So we could say 1/2 x, half as much. And then there's the full size tree. What's it say about the full size? Full size tree is 3 times as much as the semi-dwarf. So 3 times the semi-dwarf, so that would be 3x. So there's defining my variables and my variable expressions here for each of the trees. Semi-dwarf is x, therefore dwarf, half as much, is 1/2 x. Full size is 3 times, right? 3 times as much, so it's 3x. And then it tells me together the three trees grew 27 inches. So this is where the equation comes in. That's my equation, is to say that each of those trees, so the semi-dwarf plus the dwarf plus the full size, semi-dwarf plus the dwarf plus the full size, all together is 27 inches, right? Because they each grew, and then the total growth is 27. So I solve for x. So we'll go through this process. I've got 1x plus 1/2 x plus 3x. So that's 4.5x, right? So that would be 4.5. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus the half is 4.5x. So I have this 4. I'm going to write it this way for right now. I need to adjust that, but I have 4.5x. Well, if I'm solving for x here, I would normally divide by the coefficient, right? But in this case, because I have a mixed number, I don't really want a mixed number within my equation, so I'm gonna call this 9/2x, right? We can take, and we know that 4.5 is the same thing as 9/2 equals 27. Now I can solve for x by multiplying by the reciprocal, or I could say divide by the coefficient, right? Either one is going to be the same thing. When you divide by a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So, and why did I choose to multiply by the reciprocal? Because I'd end up here with 18, 9 times 2, 18 over 18, and 18 over 18 is 1, and that's my 1x that I want to find. I want to find my 1x. So then I just do my math here, 27, and then when I multiply a whole number times a fraction, I put the whole number over 1, 27 times 2 over 9. So that becomes 54 over 9, right? And so 54 divided by 9 is 6. So there's solving that equation. Now, determine the sizes, we can go back to our table here, and I'm just going to put them in the table for right now. The semi-dwarf is X, so it would be 6, and that we're dealing with inches, 6 inches. The dwarf is half that, so it's 3 inches. And the full size is 3 times the semi-dwarf, so 3 times 6, which is 18 inches. So if I'm going to write a sentence here, or at least I can put the answers here in the table to say that the dwarf is 6 inches. Excuse me, the semi-dwarf is 6 inches. The dwarf is 3 inches, grew 3 inches. The full size grew 18 inches. Right? There's my answers and my solution.